I hope you're all well on this wonderful 1st of May. It's wonderfully bright and sunny in Norwich and has slowly started to warm up, which is great because our lovely April, we love the rain for all the plants and vegetation. It was a wee bit nippy. So wherever you are in the world, we've got a wonderfully international group on our Wednesday class. I hope you're doing all right wherever you are. We've got the lovely Sarah Barbasson, who runs the student clinic here at the Shiatsu Centre. So if anybody's interested and they want a treatment, Sarah's here. She's brilliant. I can tell you she's great because I've received her treatments. She's very good. All right. So Cliff has made the next batch of things that we're doing for the next few months. And for this next section, we're looking at a lot of points around the head and the neck. So particularly in the springtime when energy moves up and out, much like plants, sometimes when it happens a little bit too quickly or we get a bit frustrated, that's when any blockages or tightness or frustration can kind of build up around the neck and the occipital ridge. So we're going to find a most gorgeous point today to help release the neck. Obviously, we'll do our usual things as well to help balance out the whole body. So what I'm going to pop on is first a poll. How are you coping? How are you doing? Oh, wonderful. Hello, everyone. We've got Karen Elise in St. Louis, Missouri, Cumbria, Gloucestershire. Wonderful. Let's have a look at this poll. How's everyone doing? Oh, okay. 55% of you are neutral. 2 of you are okay. 2 of you are coping really well. And 1 very stressed. Okay. Well, hopefully by 11, we've all shifted up into the okay and doing pretty well. But no pressure on that as well. Okay, Kim, before I get moving, I'll answer your question. Good morning, Kim in France. It's lovely to have you here. There was no class last night. No, there wasn't a class last night. Clifford got some other bits and bobs and rehearsals and things on. You didn't miss a thing. So you're all great. You're all good. Oh, Dinah's on too. Wonderful. It was spring break. Great. All right. So we've checked in to see how we're doing. Thanks, Dinah. So if we just have a little sit back, maybe it's on a chair. I'm going to get this bolster and I'm going to sit in Seiza with the bolster underneath my sitting bones, just so I can really release the front of my hips. If you're sitting on a chair, you want to make sure that your soles of the feet are in contact with the ground. So if you're petite like me and you sit right back in a chair, there's no way my feet touch the floor. So making the pelvis on the chair comfortable so we can release the hip flexors and any tension around the lower back and have connection with the feet on the ground or sitting comfortably on the floor. And then just have a little wiggle, maybe the shoulders, maybe take a yawn, open the arms out, undo the shoulders a little bit, have a little wiggle and allow yourself to settle into your body a little bit. All right. Wonderful. And I want to connect to the breath a little bit in the body. And I hope there's a poll up there. I think there is. So we're going to place 1 hand on the chest area, 1 hand on the belly. If that's uncomfortable, you can rest both hands down on the legs. So do what feels good for you. And if you want to, just very gently closing your eyes. If that's uncomfortable this morning, just keep your focus a little softer. Let's see if we can relax the eyebrows. Mine are usually pinned to my hairline, so see if you can release the eyebrows, soften the jaw, Allow the tongue to rest in the mouth. And then the hips are going down towards the ground, into the earth. And our spine's nicely hanging up towards the sky, the heavens. So the head's nice and easy on the top of the spine. And just for a moment, I'll be silent so you can listen and tune in. Just noticing how you're doing, if there's anything going on, either tension in the body or tightness. Maybe you just feel really great. Also, how your mind is. Is it busy? Are you in a rush? Are you quite relaxed? Then we're going to start. Oh, yeah, already. The second I think about my breath, I start yawning. So excuse me if I'm yawning my head off as the breath deepens. So just noticing where your breath is, not necessarily changing it. Just seeing where it sits in your body, even if it's just tickling in at the nostrils, just seeing where that is. And again, not necessarily changing it. Okay. And then when you're ready, slowly open your eyes if they've been closed and releasing the hands from the body if they've been there as well. I'm going to come and see if I can find that pole. You can stay sitting nicely. Oh, great. Yes, spring is here. Let's have a little look. Let's have a look for breath. There's quite a few on here now. Here we go. I knew there was one in here. So when you breathe in, where does the lowest part of the breath go? Do you notice it in the upper lungs, the lower abdomen, the upper abdomen? And it might be, like for me this morning, I can feel it in the face, throat, onto the upper lungs. And then I can feel it in my belly, but I've got this little block going on around my ribs. So it's kind of not drawing down as strongly in the side. I've got a little bit of blockage there. So maybe you've got it the other way around. Maybe you can breathe in the lower abdomen and it's a bit stuck in the upper chest. Great. All right. How's everyone doing? All right. 36% of you can breathe into your lower abdomen. Wonderful. And again, 40% into the upper abdomen. One person can breathe in their lungs. I'm sure we can all breathe in our lungs, but I know what you mean, into this area. And then 3 of you into your upper lungs. So hopefully by 11, we've got a lovely 50 minutes. We can really open up the whole rib cage into the abdomen so the breath is nice and kind of equal flowing throughout. Super duper. Okay. Well, what's this broom thing? Wonderful. I don't know what's going on in the chit chat, but it looks interesting. I'm just going to share some slides with you. And then we're going to get up and actually do some moving. So yes, this is our Wednesday class. And this is our wonderful plan for the whole of the summer. So we are on May the 1st. We're looking at neck pain. Spoiler alert, point of the week is bladder 10. In fact, all of those are spoiler alerts all the way until August for point of the week. So Cliff's kindly put this wonderful pack together, and we take it in turns to do the slides, and he's come up with this batch and it's wonderful. So last week you had a little look at headaches, looked at large intestine 4. So these are all the channels on the Masanaga chart that run into the head and the neck. There's loads of them and it's wonderful to see them all together. That's large intestine. And then a little bit later, we're going to come to find bladder 10. But for now, I'm just going to close that down. And then if we come up to standing, I'll move my little bolster out of the way. Have a little shake out. Oh, maybe you just woke up, or maybe you've done a million things already this morning. So just tuning in. Oh, how does your body feel? Even if you've been awake for hours, you might not be quite awake just yet. Like maybe the body's not quite woken up just yet. All right, let's have a shake down from the top to the feet, and then let's get our circles going in the body, and then we'll have a little look at our spine, because we're looking at bladder 10, and the bladder channel runs from the eyebrows all the way down either side of the spine into the sacrum, down the backs of the legs into the little toes. So we'll have a little look at opening up the myofascial plane as well down the back of the body. So to begin with, let's have a little shake out. Undoing the fingers and the wrists. Easy breath. Yeah. And yeah, here we go. Oh, excuse me. Seeing if you've got a little bit of weight in your heels. So I don't know if you're running around a little bit stressed. This kind of happens, a little bit Michael Jackson lean. We want to draw the weight back into the heels, soften the ankles and the knees. Yeah. So soft shaking if being a little more vigorous is a bit painful, particularly if there's sore arthritis or stiffness in the thumb or wrist joints. So taking that up into the forearms, giving that a good old shake out. Anytime you need to like shift your feet, please do. We don't have to stand really still. Into the elbows. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Yeah, we can be joyful and free into the upper arms. Get those cooked spaghetti limbs out into the shoulders. So if there is any tightness in the shoulders, you can keep your arms lower and have a good old shake out, maybe kind of flicking the arms towards the ground. Or if your shoulders have got a little bit more movement in, just allowing them to kind of bounce around, be a little more joyful and ease the joints. Lovely. All right, and then releasing the arms down the side of the body. Yep, I needed that. Sorry, people, if you're watching this as a replay, you're just going to see me yawning. All right, so we're going to work our way down. So we've done our 2 limbs. And like I've mentioned before, one of my former dance teachers says you have 6, 2 arms, 2 legs, a tail and a head. So we're going to go for the head. The head first. So softening in the ankles and the knees, easy hips on top of the legs. And we're just simply taking the head from one side to the other. Ooh, seeing what that feels like. I've noticed my left side's pretty tight. So we're only going as far as is comfortable. We can kind of muscularly and with strength take the head right round, but we're looking for that bit where the muscles kind of just have that little bit of a bite, and then moving round to the other side. Nice and gentle. Lovely. If you want to, you can stay at this level of undoing the neck and the head. If you feel like you need to shake out your face a little bit, maybe take any glasses off so they don't go flying. Release the mouth and jaw. You can make a noise if you want to. And just allowing a quick shake through the head, not too much. If you feel dizzy, please stop and come back to a slower pace, or maybe sitting down. So releasing the face. Wonderful. And then taking the head to look side to side. Maybe you want to do it again. I think I do. It definitely is helping that stiffness in the neck. So maybe you want to stay a bit slower. And then calming back to an easy movement of the head. Gently, gently does it. Wonderful. So from here, I'm going to take my right hand, might be your left one actually, so and placing it just not on the top, but to the opposite side. So my right hand's on my left side of the face, and my head's going to do the movement. I'm not moving my arm. My arm will move, but my head is going to gently pour over to the shoulder, and have a little listen to that shoulder with that ear. So we're gently opening up this side here where the hand's resting. So it's very lightly, well, it's kind of relaxed hand on the top of the head. Certainly not forcing anything at all. Easy breath. Quite a nice opening there. And then as we breathe out, we're just going to release the hand and then bring the head back to the center. And we'll do the same the other side. So I'm going to place my left hand on the top right part of my head. Same thing again, only the head moves the hand, certainly not the other way around. Listening to that shoulder, helping to open up the opposite side across the trapezius muscle, which our point of the week does wonderfully for relaxing. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Easy breath. Then the next time you breathe out, undoing the arm and bringing the head back to the center. Wonderful. Since we're working our way down, let's soften, I'll turn sideways, soften the knees a little bit more, and let's get our tails moving. Maybe you've got a longer tail like a cat or squirrel. So maybe choose your animal. We're softening in the front of the hips, so you can maybe lean a little bit further forward, or maybe you want to stay a little bit more upright and making the movement a little bit smaller. That's also okay. Doing what feels good for your hips this morning. You know, and so some days I prefer to do much smaller movement. It feels more beneficial. But for me today, I feel like the bigger, the juicier, the better. Yeah, so do what feels good for you. Lovely. And we're helping that waist area to undo, around the ribs to undo. So this wiggling of the tails rippling all the way up to the shoulder girdle, the neck, and that lovely area we're going to look at to the occipital ridge. Relax the arms, and we're still breathing. So you might want to wind it down and get a little slower. Or if you want to, you can allow the pelvis back in underneath the body, and we're going to go for a fishtail movement, side to side, softening in the knees. And release the arms. And maybe it comes a little bit quicker. Whee! Releasing the hips from side to side. Easy breath. Allow that shimmy to ripple all the way up the spine. Lovely. And then releasing that, swaying the hips a little bit. Wonderful. And then we're going to have a good old shake out of our legs. How's everyone doing? Okay, yeah, Lemur. We can go for Lemur's chain. I like that. All right, so maybe you want to lean on a wall or a chair. Do what feels comfortable. We're going to take the weight into one leg. We're going to shake a foot out. See if we can really release all the toes. They do so much work for us. And the sole of the foot. You might want to change the angle of the leg. Oh, maybe flexing the heel. Oh, shaking it all out. Releasing the ankle. Anytime you want to put the foot down and pick it up again, please do. Into the lower leg. And the same with the arms. Maybe you want to be a bit more gentle today. I don't know, I feel like I need a good old shake out this morning. Into the knee. And then the thigh. Have a good old wiggle and a shake. Yeah. Lovely. And then we're going to get into the hip. So we can either soften in that supporting leg and rest that heel on the ground and just have a little wiggle of the leg in the hip socket. Or if you want to go for a full swing, make sure you've got space around you. Taking the leg for a little bit of a swing, whether it be low or a little bit higher, seeing what space and ease there is in your left or right hip, whichever one you're working. Oh, wonderful. And then releasing the foot. We're going to do the same with the other one. We're moving swiftly today. I think, yes, we are. Wonderful. We've got plenty of time. So shaking out the foot, maybe changing the angle of the leg, flexing the foot into the heel, then into the ankle. Anytime, rest the foot and pick it up again. Certainly not a balancing competition, so don't worry if we wobble a little bit. Into the calf and the knee. Easy breath. And then into the thigh. Having a little wiggle and a shake. Again, it can be a little more gentle. And then we're going to get into the hip. So either dropping that heel in the ground, nice long leg. The supporting leg soft on the knee and ankle. Or maybe we want to give the leg a nice swing. Maybe it's a little low. Or we can give a good old swing of the leg into the hip. Wonderful. And then releasing that. And come and find an easy parallel. Allow things to settle. We had a good old shake out. It's kind of like a river or a stream that swells up and all the mud and silt come into the water. And now we can allow all that silt and mud to settle a little bit more. How's everyone doing? Super. Okay. So we're just going to do some circles. And then we're going to get into some gentle movement of the spine. We can also do this sitting. So shifting the weight into one leg, doesn't matter which one. And the other one, we're just going to roll round the ball of the foot and the ankle. Yeah, we will come to that lovely kidney 1 point in a little while. Ooh, my poor right foot is quite clicky this morning. Maybe yours just feels really great and smooth and joyous. And change direction. So we're not forcing anything, just being really gentle, mindful in the place that we're moving. Lovely. Sending that beautiful synovial fluid around the joints. Great. And then making sure you've got space behind you, I'll turn sideways. The foot we've just been rolling out, we're just tucking the toes under ever so gently. Again, not forcing anything, resting the toes on the ground. Maybe you can bring the foot a little bit closer. Do what feels good for you. Yeah. Seeing if it's tight or it's got a little bit more space. And we're going to tuck the toes under here. Find the sole of the foot in the ground. So in like a very mini lunge, and maybe you just want to stay there for a minute to help open up the back of the leg from the hips down to the heel, where our beautiful bladder channel runs. Wonderful. And then we're going to pick that foot up, and we're going to do the same with the other one. So the one that's just been worked is going to be the supporting leg. I'm just going to roll the other ankle out. My left one feels pretty good. Maybe you're well balanced, not as crunchy as me on the right side. So do whatever pressure or amount of movement that feels good for you. Easy breath. And change direction, rolling those ankles gently. Sending that synovial fluid round to oil and moisten all the joints. It's like our body's natural WD-40. We're going in to take out the rust and the squeaks. Lovely. And then the same thing again. We're just going to tuck those toes gently under. Again, not forcing anything. Just allowing the toes stuck under. Maybe the foot's a little closer to do what feels good. Yeah. Lovely. Easy does it. And then releasing the toes so the sole of the foot finds the floor. Maybe a very small, simple lunge, but we're connecting in with that sacrum all the way down to the heel, or maybe the little toe, so it sweeps underneath the sole of the foot. Lovely. Opening up the back plane of the leg and then releasing. Super. We're going to bring the feet a little bit closer. They don't have to touch. I'm going to soften the knees and place the hands on the kneecaps and circle the knees. And again, it can be really tiny. If you've got any lower back issues, soften the knees, hold the hands around the hips, and we can circle the knees still. So we certainly don't want to overstrain the lower back. So do whatever feels good, but we also want to make sure we're not shrugging our shoulders. We've got lovely, wide, broad shoulder girdles at the front. Easy breath. And we've got a lovely amount of weight spread over the feet, and then change direction with the circles. Wonderful. And then very, very gently, just going to release the circles, soften the knees, the pelvis draws underneath the spine, so we roll to come up, and the head's the last thing to come up. We'll make the feet a little bit wider. So have the toes where it feels comfortable. We're not looking for mega parallel if that's uncomfortable on the hips. Going to soften the knees and take the hips in a wonderful circle. So see what feels good. Maybe it's a much smaller movement. That might suit you this morning, or maybe much bigger movement. And we can play with having the knees soft or the legs nice and long. I find when the legs are long, the circles go deeper into the hip sockets, into the pelvis. And when the knees are soft, it's more the muscles. Maybe it's different for you, and that's wonderful. So do what feels good. And then we'll change direction. And just like different sides of our bodies, maybe this direction prefers legs long or knees soft. So do what feels right for you. And we're still breathing. Yeah, wonderful. And then allowing this movement to kind of spiral in. Take your time, wiggling the hips, spiraling it in. And then bringing the feet into an easy parallel. So we're going to take alternating the shoulders. How's everyone doing in the chat? See, there's all sorts. Oh, crackles and pops. Ouch, rusty squeaks and crunches. Well, hopefully we can get these all much smoother for you all. So we're going to take the shoulders alternating. So we're going to roll one forward and then drawing it back. We're going to go much slower with the circles of the shoulders. So as we breathe in, the shoulder's going to draw up towards the ear. And then breathing out, the shoulder blades melting down the ribs at the back, that beautiful floating bone. So breathing in, drawing the shoulder up. Breathing out, undoing the shoulder and letting it melt, kind of like butter in a pan, or vegan butter in a pan, if we need an image to help. And releasing the shoulder blades down the ribs. Keep gently alternating the shoulders, breathing in, breathing out, melting them down the backs of the ribs. Rolling the other one. We'll do once more on each side, breathing out, melting down the back. Lovely. One more on each side, breathing in. Breathing out, melting those shoulder blades, releasing the armpits. Once more, breathing in and breathing out. Wonderful. And then how is it just to roll? So we're going to draw the backs of the hands together, the elbows drawing outwards, kind of making a little heart shape with the arms and then releasing. So we're starting to make a little space in the armpits. All right, so it's just a gentle movement. So we're going to soften the knees, backs of the hands come together, lengthen the legs as we draw the hands up the midline, make a lovely heart shape up and over, easy elbows, wrists, making a bit of space in the armpits, and then gathering again. So breathing in, drawing the legs up, breathing out, opening the arms, a little bit more heart energy, a little bit more fire. But we know the kidney channel has water and fire. So I'll explain a little bit more later. So backs of the hands together, breathing in as we draw up. Breathing out, opening the palms of the hands, armpits, elbows. Lovely. We'll do a few more. Breathing in, making that lovely heart shape. Breathing out, gathering the earth energy, backs of the hands together. Breathing in, drawing up the midline. Breathing out, gently opening the shoulders, the arms. Lovely. Breathing in. Feet are nice and soft in the ground. Breathing out. We'll do one more here. Breathing in, drawing that gorgeous earth energy up. Creates heart, love, the fire drawing upwards. And then just going to gather some earth energy. So soften the knees, gathering it in, into the belly, to our dantian, just below the belly button. And we're going to touch the belly. So rolling, rubbing the belly, circling. Which direction is it? Right hip, right ribs across to the left and down. The way the digestive system works and runs. We're just rolling the hands round the belly. Easy breath. Wonderful. And that circle's going to get smaller and smaller until we rest the hands just underneath the belly button into our dantian. Hopefully the breath has started to ease and be a lot smoother. I think the shaking definitely helped. All that tightness around here is definitely eased. Hopefully, if you were breathing a little higher, the breath started to drop a little deeper into your body. Wonderful. All right, so before we start connecting into our point of the week and all of our head work and neck work, let's get into our most beloved kidney 1 point. So you can sit on the floor, or I'm going to go and get a chair. How's everybody doing? Okay, great. Thanks, Sarah, for being on the chat, and Dinah, thank you too. I can see it's very active. So maybe you want to sit on the ground or maybe a chair. We're going to take a hold of one foot. If you're at home and you haven't got a lovely person to do this for you and connecting to the feet are really uncomfortable, you can get a tennis ball or a washer dryer spiky ball and roll the foot round the ball on the floor. And you can adjust how much pressure you put on that tennis ball. That really helps as well. So if we're going to touch our feet, we're going to rub the hands together, create some qi and warmth. Actually, I'm quite warm. I'm going to take a little layer off. It's getting nice and warm here in Norwich, so that's good. All right, rubbing the hands together. And we're going to take a hold of the feet, give them a good old squidge. So imagining we've scooped some clay out the ground, and because it's not been a hot summer, the earth's a little cool, and we're going to warm this clay up, warming the earth up. Wonderful. Just seeing what space there is in the foot, what movement there is in the heel, sides of the foot, into the sole of the foot as well. And the top. Lovely. And then we're going to find that beautiful kidney 1. I'm sure you all know where it is. I'm just going to lift my foot up. You've got the big toe is number 1. Next one's number 2. And the one after it, number 3. So we want the space between 2 and 3, the metatarsal gap, underneath the ball of the foot. Oh, and it's good. I think it's well needed for me this morning. Maybe it is for you too. So we can either press the thumbs in, and we're sending the breath through the arm, so we're not being too pokey. If that's a little bit sore, you might want to use finger pressure, or perhaps pressing the fingers upwards and helping open the top of the foot here, particularly if there's any like obstruction or frustration, or you're a little bit angry. This movement opening the front of the foot will also help release the liver channel. It will help with all of those things of feeling stuck. Or if it's terribly sore, just taking a hold of the whole foot around this area with the palm of your hand and sending the breath in. Maybe having a little smile to yourself. Yeah. Smile to yourself because you're looking after your feet, which is wonderful. All right. And then we'll release that foot down unless you're rolling. I think someone once said, I can't find a ball, I've got an apple. An apple will do. Roll the foot underneath. So take a hold of the other foot. Again, warming up that beautiful clay we've got out the ground. Warming it up, making it more malleable to give more movement and flexibility. Seeing what wants to move, what feels good. Maybe releasing the toes a little bit. Lovely. And we've got an easy breath. Then we're going to find that beautiful point again. So second and third toe metatarsal space underneath the ball of the foot. And maybe it's sending the finger pressure upwards, opening the top of the foot, or being a little bit more still, pressing the thumb or the finger into that lovely kidney one and sending the breath down the arm. Imagining when we breathe out, we're sending a lovely breath down the arm into this gorgeous point. Hopefully our energy is coming down from the head. It's kind of washing down the spine, into the pelvis, down the backs of the legs, and into this beautiful point. Wonderful. All right, and then we're just going to release that. How are we doing? Super duper. Somehow managing to fit quite a few things in today. It's quite lovely. All right, so finding the feet on the ground. If you're on a chair, you can also do this sitting on the ground. We're just going to allow the spine to curl and open, seeing what space there is in the vertebrae this morning. So it's like a yoga seated cat-cow, and we are going to allow the pelvis to curl under. So having the hands resting on the legs wherever feels comfortable. And I like to breathe out as the tail curls under and the head draws forward, releasing the chin towards the chest, and then breathing in, the pelvis moves, gently opening the front of the body, maybe looking up towards the sky. Of course, we don't want to collapse in the neck, so we've got this like support from behind the head. If there's any very tight necks, keep the head looking forward. All right, let's keep breathing, and then breathing out, curling forward, making a bit of space in the spine. Breathing in, rolling the pelvis and opening the front of the body. Breathing out, curling the spine. So we're helping this beautiful bladder channel gently open. It starts from the corner of the eyes, runs up to the eyebrows and up and over the skull. So as we're moving the tailbone and the sitting bone and curling and opening the spine, we're also activating the channel that runs over the neck and the top of the head. Take your time with the breath. You might find it's easier for you breathing the other way, so like breathing in here and then breathing out, opening the front of the body. So do what feels good for you. Lovely. Just one or two more. And then when you're ready, or perhaps you've rested already, just going to uncurl and come back up to sitting. Great. Lovely. So from here, I think we could do a little bit of work. I know we just touched our feet. They're your feet, so hey, if you want to wash your hands, please do. And we're going to have a little look at points around the head and come to point of the week. So I'm going to come a little bit closer. How are we all doing? I think you're all good. Oh, great. Breath has come down to the abdomen. Wonderful. All right. So I will just show again these lovely slides. Hopefully this is the point of the week. I wanted to come back to this one. So whilst I talk us through it, I'll remove the slides in a minute. So do what feels good for you this morning. Maybe you want to tap with loose wrists and fingertips. So from the top of the inside of the eyebrow. You can see here on this lovely drawing, the head that's turned to the side. There's a channel that runs from the inside of the eye to the eyebrow and up and over. This is our bladder channel. This is what we're looking at today. So tapping all the way up and over it. You might just want to press the palms into the head instead, particularly if the scalp's sensitive or we've got any tension, headaches. Don't forget the point of the week. Last week was large intestine 4, really good for headaches and migraines. Pressing or tapping all the way down. Wonderful. And then we're going to find this kind of banana-shaped one on the side of the head, our gallbladder. So it's the blue line. I know, even though gallbladder is wood element and green, don't worry, on this chart it's blue. So where are we going? Bananaing around the side of the head, and then it comes back around again. Lovely. Into the kind of flat side of the neck. Super. I'm just going to stop sharing the slides. So we've whizzed from the inside of the eyebrows here, all the way up and over into either side of the spine on the neck. Yes, that's point of the week. And then we've come out a little bit more. And we're going to go round the ears towards the eyebrows. And then again, making that lovely banana shape into the gallbladder, releasing that. And let's come to the stomach channel on the front of the face. So it starts at the eye. We're not going to tap our eyeballs. We're going to go just a little bit below. So it's like we see something delicious to eat. And we want to see it and take that in. Or maybe it's a flower that looks so beautiful. We can take that beautiful image in. So much lighter. Oh, just underneath the eyeballs, down to the cheeks. There's a lovely point here on the stomach channel. So if we're feeling like nauseous or acid reflux, or if our energy is quite uppity, gently tapping down the stomach channel is going to help move the stomach Qi in the direction that it needs to go in, which is downwards onto the jaw. Release the mouth, and then gently out towards the ears. See if we can release these cheeks a little bit. You might want to roll the jaw a little more around the cheeks like this, or tapping. Oh, lovely. And then we're going to come onto the throat. We're just going to very gently stroke down the throat, away from the chin, and then down and out. Really good for the lymphatic system, the brushing. And back again to the other side. And then gently onto the chest. So maybe just having a little tap around the collarbone. You can be gentle, maybe not as firm. And then out to the long one a little bit. Lovely. Great. All right. Before we get tapping anywhere else and coming to the last little movement, I think we've got time. I thought we can undo these wonderful sternocleidomastoid muscles and come to our point of the week. So perhaps you just want to go quite gently with the palm of your hand, kind of, pressing very kind of gently into the side of the neck. If you want a little bit more pressure or feel like it needs a good release, I like to take a hold of this whole muscle. As you can see here, the sternocleidomastoid muscle, because it attaches to the sternum. And then to help release it, I'm going to tilt my head towards the side I'm working. And I'm just giving it a little gentle squeeze from where it attaches from the occipital ridge here. And it's going to move all the way down, so gently squeezing but firmly. If it's very sore, please go much lighter. You can use fingertips. I'm using thumb and curling my index finger to get the knuckle in on the front. Helps release that all the way down to where it meets the front here. Well, as far as we can get to, because it comes down to the sternum. Lovely. And then we're going to do the same the other side. So maybe it's gently pressing with the fingertips. Do whatever feels comfortable. Maybe you like to get in there, so thumb behind on this lovely muscle, and then just tilting the head so it's just got a little bit more room for your hand to get in, and then gently but firmly we're running the fingers or the thumb down, so we're sending any blocked energy downwards. Take your time undoing that lovely muscle on the neck. Wonderful. Let's shift into something. Excuse me. Lovely. And then I'm going to put the slide up again so we can find point of the week. Okay, so that's slide intestine 4 from last week. Really good if you've got any headaches. And then this point, bladder 10. I also find this very helpful. If there's any neck tension or tired headaches, particularly if there's been a lot of computer work or kind of, that willpower to just keep going. This point is gorgeous to help you relax back into your body again. So as you can see on the screen, so it's either side of the spine. So what you can do is have the hands on the back of the head, near the occipital ridge. You've got your spine, and then with the thumbs, you just want to draw underneath the occipital ridge and then rest the head back into the hands. You're going to find that beautiful point. Well, you might want to do it with fingers one side and thumb the other with one hand. I do quite like both thumbs into the back of the head. It's a beautiful point called celestial pillar. It helps benefit the head and all the sensory organs on our face and head, calms our spirit, and helps back pain. So I'll just close those slides down. So hopefully you can find it. If you need to, you can kind of use the heel of the hand, give the neck a squeeze first, maybe interlace the fingers and do both heels of the hand, and then find that gorgeous point either side of the spine, kind of just off the hairline, and then resting the head back a little bit into that beautiful bladder 10. Easy breath. So see how that is for you. I'm going to read from the Images and Functions book as you breathe into that point about the image of it and the functions of the bladder 10, heaven's pillar or celestial pillar. So the name refers to this point's location near the upper cervical region and the surrounding muscles which support the head or heaven like a pillar. The functions opens the sensory orifices, so it helps to spell wind or wind cold. So that's kind of good if there's any external pernicious influences are wafting in, spring, snuffles, colds, or perhaps because it's been quite windy recently, that might have entered in the back of the neck. That point really good for ridding that. So it reduces fever and also clears heat. It strengthens or relaxes the sinews and strengthens your back. Isn't that a lovely point? All right, so if you've had a good feel around, we're just going to come back to standing for a moment. You take your time, obviously rest on the floor, have a lie down if you want to. We're just going to do one little movement before we already finish this session. I don't know how it flies by. So we're going to have the feet in contact with the ground. We've got that beautiful kidney 1 point open. Bladder channel from the eyebrows runs over the top of the head into that beautiful bladder 10, either side of the spine, into the sacrum, down the midline of the back of the legs, into the little toes. So I thought we could do a wave movement with the spine. I'll show it once, just so you can see this breath of wave with the spine. And because we've opened up bladder 10 already in the neck, all the neck tension is going to release, and we can move the breath through the whole of the back of the body. So what we're going to do, I'll do it quickly, but we'll take our time when I talk us through it together. Going to breathe in, and as we breathe in, the arms are going to float up. And as we breathe out, we're just going to soften the knees and hips, softening the front of the body, taking your time. You might even just want to hang out with a little hanging over, or you might want to fold all the way over, keeping the knees soft. And as we breathe in, we're going to breathe in through the soles of the feet, the breath's drawing up the legs into the pelvis, and it ripples through the spine and out the top of the head. So it's breathing in, and it ripples as we breathe out, and then not forgetting to release the head again. And as we breathe out, the next time we're just going to arm curl and then start again. So we'll do just a few. I'll talk us through it. If you want to do it sitting, you can as well, drawing the arms up and then resting the hands on the leg, and then we can ripple the spine open even as we sit. So gently breathing in, drawing the arms to float up towards the sky, weight in the feet, breathing out, softening the front of the body, taking your time to go down as far as is comfortable, not forcing anything at all, releasing the back of the head, breathing in through the soles of the feet, draws all the way up to the hips, flows through the spine and releases the head as we breathe out. And then softening the knees and arm curling. Take your time to arm curl. I'll get my words in a minute. So breathing in, drawing the arms up towards the sky. Breathing out, folding the body forward just as far as is comfortable. And we're going to breathe in through the soles of the feet, up through the body, through the spine. Release the top of the head, and then release the neck again as well. Breathing in, and as we breathe out, softening the knees and gently arm curling. There's no rush. Taking your time. And then we're going to breathe in. We'll just do it once more. And then breathing out, softening the front of the body. It's like we're moving like a wave with the breath. Breathing out, breathing in, rippling that wave through the spine, the legs, the head. Easy breath. We're just going to arm curl as we breathe out. Wonderful. And then this time we're just going to breathe in and draw the arms up towards the sky. And as we breathe out, allow the arms to settle either side of the body and just drop the chin towards the chest. So we're going to keep the shoulders exactly where they are, just dropping the chin towards the chest. We'll do that once more, breathing in, drawing the arms up, breathing out, releasing the arms and gently tucking the chin. Wonderful. One more, very gently, breathing in, breathing out, releasing the arms, dropping the head forward. Lovely. Bringing the head back to the center. Maybe we can connect back in with that gorgeous bladder 10 point on the back of the neck. Maybe giving the whole neck a bit of a squeeze. Beautiful. And then taking your time, we're going to come and sit back down again. See how you're doing. Got a few minutes, which is wonderful. Yes, Jane is belting. And guess what? I had a little thing ready for us to read about Beltane. So have a little sit down. Maybe you want to lie down as well. I just want to put, how are you feeling right now? Do you feel more balanced, about the same, or less balanced? Hopefully not that box. Hopefully feeling much easier. Lovely. Okay, perfect. Most of you more balanced. Great. That's super. So just to finish, maybe you want to come and lie down on the ground or take a rest in a chair. We're just going to notice where the breath is sitting in your body. Has it changed at all? Maybe it hasn't, and that's okay. Yeah. You might want to close your eyes. Yeah, sides of my ribs feel much better, so thank you all. It's been wonderful. Great, and it's not only Beltane, as you may know. I know it's the 1st of May, hey? So just allowing your breath to settle, having a natural breath, allowing everything, all the movement and shaking that we've done this morning to settle in the body, undoing the doing. I'm going to read from the Environmental Arts Therapy and Tree of Life book. Each chapter is a month. I'm going to read from May, obviously, and just a little bit, because it's so delicious, this chapter. I'll just read a little bit for us to kind of meditate on. This bit's called Coming Home. With the arrival of Beltane comes the great surge of spring. The forests and hillsides are decked in fresh and sunlit colours, and the song of birds and the buzz of insects is everywhere. The whole world feels new and freshly painted. It is as if we have stepped through the doorway and found our home renewed. And this doorway leads us into the light half of the Celtic year. So we bring with us much that was unconscious and in the dark, into consciousness and into the light. As we do so, we ascend with the vegetation into a new level of growth. I'll leave it there because we could go on. So if you've got your eyes closed, maybe you just want to stay there in this blissful, settled state. I'll just say thank you all very much for coming. It's been a lovely Wednesday session with you all. And hello if anyone joined partway through or is watching from a replay. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. I'm just going to put a little heart in the chat. Let's see, I think everybody's doing all right. Not too many questions. Lovely. So yeah, anytime you need to undo the neck a little bit, particularly if we've been on the phone or looking at computers or maybe reading, we want to undo the neck, release the rest of the spine. It's a lovely point. And what have we got next week? I think we'll move on to another point around the neck. I can't quite remember, but yeah, have a lovely rest of your day. All right, wonderful. Great. Oh, it's a holiday almost over for Europe. Oh no, that's why it's more than Beltane. Okay, well, have a good week and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Sarah, for being on the chat, and I'll put another heart in the chat. And thank you, Dinah, for popping on. It's lovely to see you too. All right, see you.